Welcome to Zoom and Vroom with the Polk County History Center. Today, we are heading out to discover more about Polk's exceptional museum community. Have you ever just wondered, really wondered, why is this the way it is? How did that get there? How is it that different colors and texture and sound can come together to make us feel really happy or even really sad? Well, if you have, we've got just the list for you, Polk's Museum Communities. In preparation for today's Zoom and Vroom, please have your packet of materials and a sense of adventure ready to go. We're gonna go live in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, and welcome to Zoom and Vroom, live from the Arts and Culture Gallery at the Polk County History Center. My name is Jayme Jamison, and I am the Curator of Education and Visitor Engagement at the Polk County History Center. But more importantly, on the second Saturday of each month, I become your History and Heritage Fairy Godmother. A little housekeeping before we begin. We expect the program to last about 20 minutes. Can't stay that long? That's okay. You can always catch us on repeat at PGTV's YouTube channel or on Facebook anytime. Today we are discovering the variety of places you can visit when you find your mind wandering. Museums. Polk County is home to over 20 museums that range in topics from history and science to art and water sports. There's something for everyone, and it's only getting better with the addition of the Bonnet Springs Park, the Lakeland History and Culture Center, and the proposed African American Historical Museum in Lakeland. better discover the world of museums that surround us, we've hit the road to explore 3 of Polk County's unique museums.
Hello, I'm Myrtice Young, Historic Preservation Manager for the Polk County History Center. As Historic Preservation Manager, my responsibilities are to manage the operations of the Polk County History Center. That is managing the staff, that is overseeing programming, overseeing the exhibit plans, and really facilitating the entire operation.
My name is Kimberly Brewer. I'm the Education Director here at the Florida Air Museum and the Aerospace Center for Excellence.
Hi, I'm Alex Rich. I'm the Executive Director and Chief Curator here at the Polk Museum of Art at Florida Southern College. And basically, as the director of the museum, I run this museum as a business. And as the Chief Curator, I am responsible for preparing and writing our shows and exhibitions, for creating the educational material and experience all about the art that we show on the walls of the museum.
County History Center is the repository of all of the history of Polk County. We are a repository in terms of collecting artifacts, 3-dimensional objects that help to tell our story. The History Center also is a research center. It's a place where documents and photographs and important research has been compiled so people can come here and do their own research. As a part of Polk County government, of course, our mission is to tell the story of Polk County's history, Polk County's past, and Polk County's almost current and recent history.
The Florida Air Museum is Florida's official aviation museum and education center. Florida Air Museum has been around for a little over 30 years. We started out in a small hangar on the north side, and then this building was built in 1992 and has been here since then. The Aerospace Center for Excellence is the overarching company, parent company if you will, and has now extended in the front of the Florida Air Museum. Now we've kind of become that STEM hands-on extension of what was already here.
Well, the Polk Museum of Art at Florida Southern College is a long-standing Polk County institution and Central Florida institution. And actually the museum itself was founded in 1966, but we've always been an academic museum. We like to say everyone can be educated when they come through the museum and everyone can learn something new. So in addition to our exhibitions, we have classes and summer camps and virtual programs now, per our new 21st century iteration of the museum. So there's always something going on, and we really want everyone to have a really special experience coming to our museum and realizing why it is unique in the world of museums. It's certainly unique to our community.
The greatest achievement that we can celebrate in terms of the work that we do here is creating an experience for either a young learner or someone who has been around learning for a long time, an experience that inspires them to learn a little more, to become a little more excited about where they live, to feel a little more connected, to have that sense of place, of being a Polk Countyan. If we, in our work, can inspire that kind of feeling, I think we've achieved amazing things.
I feel like both of those institutions are really good at educating and engaging the next generation of aerospace professionals.
I think we really shine as putting on a really good show. I think, and I say this often to everybody, if you come to our museum, you would not believe that we are theoretically a little regional museum. Every staff member wears at least 1, 2, 3, or 4 different hats, goes well beyond their job duties, and I think that shows in what we are able to prove as a great museum. So I really think that when people come through here, they're going to learn a lot. They're going to realize that we don't skimp on what we do, and that really our whole team is full of perfectionists.
Our exhibits, wow, what is the most exciting for me? We have a wonderful opportunity to be in a building that gives us multiple galleries to tell multiple stories. And when I think about the most important to me, of course, it is the building we're in. We're housed in the 1908 historic courthouse. just the building itself has such a great story of Polk County's past. And I think having a very significant architectural fixture that people can walk into and see, I would say the most important artifact that we preserve here is the building itself, the 1908 historic courthouse.
I think that the absolute cannot miss exhibit when you come to the Florida Air Museum is the Howard Hughes exhibit, because we have the second largest collection of Howard Hughes artifacts in the world. And it's fascinating to be able to see all of the things that he worked on, the blueprints, the books, and it's just, you cannot miss it. I feel like my favorite or most interesting artifact would be in the NOAA exhibit, which is a dropson, which is what they actually drop into storms to collect all of the weather data that then comes back to our community. I think what actually happens from what I've seen is there's like this, bottom of the airplane, they put it in, and I'm pretty sure they press a button and it just shoots out, and then it just falls down into the water, and then it disintegrates.
One of the great things about the museum is that we constantly rotate out our exhibitions, so also anybody coming to visit the museum will have a totally different experience, not only from week to week, because we're changing things so often, but also about every 3.5 months we have our major exhibitions change. So in any one season, I love an exhibition, and then I change my mind. I'm like, oh, that one's now my favorite. That one's now my favorite. Recently, we had a Toulouse-Lautrec and the Belle Epoque exhibition, which was just a tremendous experience. Our American Impressionism show up this fall is awesome. My personal favorite exhibition was actually a few years ago. It was called the Von Wagner Code. It was all about a rediscovered painting that was found in a facilities department at the Florida Southern College campus. We discovered there was actually a long missing masterwork. And so exciting and so special was that exhibition, one of my favorites to work on and create the exhibition for, that we have that on permanent display. So anybody who comes to the museum can still see a small iteration or a small version of the Von Wagner Code exhibition. In terms of my favorite object in the collection, it's actually a work by the artist Alice Neel, and it is a print of her granddaughter named Olivia. And I've always loved Alice Neel's work. Recently, I went to New York City to see a big Alice Neel exhibition, and I was thrilled to say, yes, we own some Alice Neel works right here at the Polk Museum of Art at Florida Southern College as well.
As we think about the horizon and plan the strategies toward the future, I am so pleased that we're beginning to think now of a 5-year plan to bring us to the celebration of the country's semi-quincentennial. We are in a building that served as a center of government, and I think to be able to celebrate the foundations of our country as we approach our 250th anniversary, I am so excited that the conversations that are going on for us now as we're planning that and our programming and our exhibits, that experience that we want to bring to the public to celebrate the semi-quincentennial, the celebration of the country. So as a history museum, we collect artifacts from the past and we tell stories of the past, but how does the past connect us to the future? And certainly as we celebrate such an important occasion as the semi-quincentennial, there's no better environment to be in to help plan that celebration than in a historical museum.
So we are in the midst of our future because tomorrow actually is our ribbon cutting, and we just expanded onto the Florida Air Museum with the Skylab Innovation Center, and it includes 5 STEM classrooms, or laboratories as we like to call them, for welcoming all of our students in and exposing them to STEM concepts and careers. Students that may not have otherwise been introduced to a career or a field in STEM are now finally getting that opportunity to be hands-on with it and meet people that look like them, to inspire them to pursue their dreams if it's in STEM.
One of our major initiatives as we move forward is to make the museum both increasingly accessible and increasingly inclusive of everybody in our diverse community. It's really important that art is a way to communicate information about the world in general, about different communities, to engage with people from all different backgrounds and all different experiences of the arts. And we know the museum is an institution that can help establish that. So we hope that people will look forward to the fact that we're going to make this a place that people want to come back again and again, and they'll start to see a lot more of that accessibility or those initiatives, inclusivity and accessibility initiatives in play. But we also have lots of great exhibitions planned, a lot of great programs. So coming up, for instance, in our 2021-2022 season, we have an American Impressionism show. We have a show called Those Who Dance, featuring the photography of New Orleans-based photographer Josephine Sacabo. We have an upcoming exhibition called Finding Meaning Within, which features the photography of a Harlem-based artist in New York, a really well-known New York-based artist. We're excited to show his work. We are going to have a major exhibition featuring the Florida-based art of the Highwaymen. We have our brand new Spirits Gallery, which is the new permanent collection gallery that I'm so excited about, dedicated to the arts of Africa and Oceania. We have a Turn of the 21st Century exhibition up. We are trying to give everybody a little something. We want to make sure that everyone who comes through the doors learns something new, but also finds something that speaks to them and engages with them. At the same time, they may find a new artist or a new place on the globe where they've never seen the art from before. So we think that that is our responsibility, and we're always striving to do that day in and day out here at the museum.
My favorite places to visit still is, of course, over in my hometown of Lake Wales. Having graduated from Lake Wales High School, marched in the Highlander Band, I love to visit Lake Wales at the Lake Wales History Museum and go back in time and recall life as it was when I was a young girl in Lake Wales. It's one of my favorite historic towns. There's so many historical sites to visit in the downtown historic districts. So on Saturday, when Myrtice Young is thinking of something fun to do, I hear those bagpipes and I think, go Highlanders.
My absolute favorite is Bok Tower because that's where my husband proposed to me. And so it's a very special place. I even went there when I was in elementary school. It's just always been somewhere that we go that feels like you're not here because it's tall and there's trees and you feel like you're up on a mountain and it just feels different and it's beautiful. My husband loves Pinewood and I love the tower, and so depending on when it's going to ring, then we're heading that way, and if it's not about to, then we head to Pinewood.
This is kind of a gimme for me because, as I've said, this is the Polk Museum of Art at Florida Southern College. And while we are a separate institution that's affiliated with Florida Southern College, I'm also employed as the chair of the Art History and Museum Studies Department at Florida Southern College, but it's hard for me to not say that my favorite other place is the Frank Lloyd Wright campus at Florida Southern College. It is next to our beloved museum, the gem, as far as I'm concerned, of cultural institutions for Polk County. Just to be able to wander through the campus, it feels like you're in a Frank Lloyd Wright museum. It's an incredible resource. It's not nearly visited to the extreme it should be visited, and that's right here. And in fact, it's just 1 block south of the museum. So that's an easy answer. The Frank Lloyd Wright campus is just incredible and should be on kind of the map of everybody across the globe, let alone in Polk County.
Think of the county and the mosaic of Polk County's history. It includes not only the historical sites, and which include over 300 significant historical sites that tell our story, but also when you think about the history of the beginnings of Polk County, our waterways and all the blueways and all the trails and all the outdoor spaces that create such a lovely experience for people. So not only learning history in the stories that we are able to tell throughout the county of these many, many sites that are historical, but also a natural experience that gets you outdoors, walking trails and thinking about who walked on this trail before I did? Who was walking on these paths? Who was on these waterways? So we have beautiful trails, beautiful waterways, beautiful historic sites, and a rich combination of outdoor historical interests to include the entire family.
I think Polk County actually has quite a bit of diverse informal education opportunities for our community. From Mosaic to the Florida Air Museum to Bok Tower to Bonnet Springs, you kind of have a little bit of everything. So if you're an aviation enthusiast, you come here. You love gardens and plants and nature, you go to Bok Tower. If you are interested in Explorations 5 Children's Museum, you go to Bonnet Springs. Like, we just have a mixture of everything, and I really think there is something to be said in the value of the informal education experiences that our young kids have.
It's a place where there is a thirst for creative minds, there's a thirst for knowledge, there is kind of a great, growing generation of like kind of culinary arts. If you want to put it all into one kind of bag, right, this is a place where I think we see a lot of growth of people wanting to make our community and the entire county better and better. And I think that speaks to a place that people want to be, and then they grow the community along with it. I think it's just, it's an incredible place to be. I think it's so different from when I first moved down here even, and I think that that's credit to so many members of the community who are giving their time and creative efforts to make it a more and more of a cultural attraction.
The value that cultural centers provide to visitors is so beyond the experience of just being inside a museum. Being able to identify with a place, being able to experience sense of place, creates for us such a richer experience of life. You have an opportunity to learn about other people, other cultures, things that happened around us that we may not have known, how those events occurred and how they shaped our past, how they shape the way we think today, and how we think about the future. So with cultural experiences, I think it just is so much a part of the humanities and the development of us as human beings, and how we as human beings evolve and experience life. I think without that, we just don't have the ability to think creatively. I think it helps us to have a much richer experience of not only ourselves and our experience of ourselves in our own place, but how that experience, how we relate that experience to others who are unlike us. Culture, cultural experiences, museums, and cultural environments are just essential to the human experience.
We have quite the aviation ecosystem out here, I feel like, and it makes a difference when you have such a strong support from the airport director and NOAA and Draken, and everybody's just working together to try and inspire our young people to pursue a career in the aviation or aerospace industry. And so what ends up happening is, if I want to introduce our summer campers to aviation mechanic, then we go to M Aviation. Or if they're interested in meteorology and they want to be a scientist, but they also want to be a pilot, then we bring in NOAA. If they're interested in airport design or commercial airline, then we bring in the airport. If they are enthusiastic about Amazon and they want to be a cargo pilot of some sort, then we reach out to Amazon. Everybody on this airfield is willing and ready to help inspire the next generation.
I think there's nothing more important than our cultural institutions. If we are to look at other areas and other businesses, of course, those help to maintain our economy, maintain our social networks, but without our cultural institutions, like the Polk Museum of Art, we would not be able to share in knowledge of the world and knowledge of each other. It is through art that we can learn about other people, understand other people, and gain the skills of empathy necessary to communicate and network with others in the world. Cultural institutions like ours really do give people the ability to get along better, to know each other better, and to make us a better world. Without cultural institutions, we would be a much worse place. We would not be a place I'd want to be. So we are really important and vital, I think, just to humanity.
Come and visit us in Bartow at the Polk County History Center and continue that experience on the Polk County Heritage Trail that will take you around the county to experience Polk County's rich and diverse history.
A huge thank you to all of our donors and sponsors and partners that have invested and have believed in us to make this expansion a reality. Come on down and visit us at the Florida Air Museum and the Aerospace Center for Excellence. We'll see you soon.
We're so excited to welcome members of our community every day that we are open for free to the Polk Museum of Art. We never want there to be an obstacle to people getting to enjoy art and learning about art. So just like the library is free, the Polk Museum is free as well, thanks to our strategic partners who help underwrite admission. So we invite everyone to come visit us. We are open post-Labor Day of 2021. We will be open Tuesdays through Sundays, and anyone can visit polkmuseumofart.org to see our hours of operation. And just come see us, come enjoy art, and come say hi to us as well. If you see me in the hall, say hi to all of our staff. I promise you'll have a great time.
best way to check out all the museums Polk has to offer is to pick up this special edition Zoom and Vroom Museum Passport that provides a directory by city of the sites that you can see. Now, don't forget the historical museums in your own hometown. Communities like Auburndale, Haines City, Fort Meade, Frostproof, and Lake Alfred have curated wonderful exhibits that explore the uniqueness of their individual communities. Looking to get the kids ready for their big museum adventure? Preview your visit the night before by reading Parker Looks Up, An Extraordinary Moment by Parker and Jessica Curry. This month's recommended reading is Parker Looks Up, An Extraordinary Moment by Parker and Jessica Curry. One rainy Tuesday, instead of going to dance class, Parker's mom said, "Let's go to the museum." Parker loved visiting the museum, almost as much as she loved twirling and leaping in the air. She pulled on her boots, Mom and her sister Ava buttoned up their jackets, and off they went. Splashing and smiling, and Gia, Parker's best friend, greeted them from the top of the museum steps. Once inside, the friends hurried down a hall, looking at the paintings all around them. I wonder what they saw. They saw prancing horses, blooming flowers, a bushy mustache, a shiny jeweled necklace, two peacocks with eyes that are red, and a basket of slimy fish, and feathers, lots and lots of brilliant feathers. You can find out more and see what else Parker gets up to by checking out Parker Looks Up, An Extraordinary Moment from your local library. Don't forget to swing by the Polk County History Center and pick up your Zoom and Vroom adventure packet with the special museum passport and a super fun prism for exploring the colors of the world and a mega glider to test out your theories on flight. I hope you enjoy your visit to our wonderful museums, and I look forward to seeing you next month for an extra fun episode of Zoom and Vroom right here in Bartow. Until then, happy trails.